If you want the same kind of agent workflow on your own machine, check out conductor.com. Conductor works with the coding agents already in your current setup. It runs fully local, and I'll also show the open source repo and native coding agent screenshots later in this video. Claude Code just crossed an important line. Noah Zweben posted a demo showing recurring cloud-based tasks in Claude Code. You set a repo or multiple repos, a schedule, and a prompt. Then Claude runs it in the cloud on that schedule, which means you do not have to keep your laptop awake or your local Claude Code session running just to make the task happen. That may sound like a nice convenience feature, but it is actually a much bigger shift than that. Because the moment a coding tool can wake itself up, rerun a workflow, and keep doing useful work in the background, it starts to behave less like an assistant you open and more like an agent you assign ongoing responsibility to. And that is the key thing I want to unpack here. The demo is short, but the product implication is huge. Most AI coding tools are still foreground tools. You open them, point them at a problem, wait for an answer, and then close them. Even when they are powerful, they still depend on you to start the session, keep it alive, and remember to come back later. That is fine for one-off edits, but it breaks down for recurring engineering work. Think about all the tasks that teams repeat every day or every week. Review open pull requests. Check if a deployment is healthy. Run a recurring bug triage workflow. Watch for flaky tests. Summarize status across repos. Generate release notes. Nudge a backlog back into shape. Those are not hard because the prompt is complicated. They are hard because they keep coming back. And recurring work is where background agents become way more valuable than chat-based assistants. So when Claude Code adds recurring scheduled cloud tasks, the story changes. It is no longer just helping you code faster when you are sitting there. It is starting to own maintenance loops that happen whether or not you are at your keyboard. Let's walk through the actual clip. It opens with a title card that says Scheduled Tasks in the Cloud. So the framing is direct from the start. This is not local cron, not just a reminder, and not some hidden API trick. It is a productized feature. Then we see the Claude Code interface with a scheduled tasks section. At first the screen shows no scheduled tasks. After that, a create task modal appears. The important part is what the UI asks for. You can choose a repo or repos, define a schedule, and write the prompt that Claude should run. The example shown is a recurring pull request review task. In the detail view, you can see a task named Review Open Pull Requests Repo. The schedule is daily, around 10 in the morning, and the task also has a Run Now button. That is a really smart demo choice, because PR review is exactly the kind of repeated workflow that people want automated, but still need to keep useful and scoped. Then the task list view shows multiple scheduled jobs, not just one. That matters because it makes the product look like a dashboard for ongoing agent workloads, not a single gimmick. Finally, we see a terminal-like result view where a task appears to have actually executed and produced review output. So the proof in the clip is pretty clean. Claude Code now has a recurring task UI, it can run cloud-based scheduled jobs, and it is targeting real developer loops. Now here is the part that matters if you want the solid version, not the hype version. Claude Code's scheduled task docs already explain that ordinary in-session scheduling exists through / commands like loop and cron-style tooling. But those tasks are session-scoped. They disappear when the session ends. The docs explicitly say that if you want durable scheduling that survives restarts and runs without an active terminal session, you should use desktop scheduled tasks or GitHub Actions. That is important because it lines up almost perfectly with what this post is showing. The post is not saying your normal local terminal session suddenly became immortal. It is showing a stronger scheduling layer that uses cloud infrastructure and can keep running without your machine staying on. The Claude Code on the web docs reinforce the broader architecture too. Anthropic already documents cloud execution where repos are cloned into managed virtual machines and tasks run asynchronously. So the recurring task feature fits into a real product direction, not just a polished mock-up. This is where it gets interesting. There are a lot of coding tools that can help you solve the next problem. Fewer can be trusted with the next 100 recurring problems. That is the real difference between a coding copilot and an agent platform. A recurring cloud task is basically a tiny standing order for software work. Check this repo every day. Review these pull requests. Run this inspection. Summarize this state. Keep watching this system. That moves the relationship with the tool from request and response into delegated responsibility. And once you have that, you can start stacking them. One task watches PR quality. Another checks deployments. Another summarizes issue triage. Another generates release prep. The value compounds because you are not just buying intelligence once. You are buying repeated execution. That is why I think this feature matters more than it looks. It is a primitive for ongoing agent labor. Zooming out, this is exactly where the market is heading. Some products will take the cloud-first route, where the vendor owns the execution environment and keeps the agent running for you. Others will win on local-first control, where you decide what runs, where it runs, and which coding agents plug into the workflow. That is why I keep pointing to ConductorOS.com and the Conductor OSS repo at github.com/tyrannyk06/conductor-oss. I'll show the repo, the native coding agent launch screens, and the current local setup on screen here. The point is simple. Conductor works with the coding agents you already use, and it runs fully local. So this Claude Code launch is the cloud-first version of a trend we have been tracking for a while. Ongoing workflows, background execution, repeated tasks, and agent orchestration are becoming the real product surface. Not just autocomplete. Not just chat. Systems. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. And if you want an agent setup that works with all your current coding agents and runs fully local, go to ConductorOS.com and check the open-source Conductor repo. The tools that win from here are the ones that can keep useful work moving even when you are not sitting at the keyboard.